Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of the Brian Colletto Show on my LinkedIn and YouTube using Restream. And if it should ever be repurposed, wherever you listen to podcasts slash live shows. Now, first, a bit of a disclaimer. I apologize that I did not schedule this show in advance like I usually do. Um, there were a few reasons behind that. Number one is the uncertainty that has been my voice over the past week. And the other reason was because of personal matters at home as it related to the situation with our dryer, which is fixed. Nobody did anything wrong. It was an issue that um, simply needed to be fixed as it was a manufacturing thing. So, um, so get that out of the way before we start. So, with regards to this week's little spiel about autism, now we are a few weeks away from Autism Month, and um, I don't really have anything prepared right now. The only thing that I'm going to say, though, is that in regards to uh, the dryer issue, um, there is um, preparation, and um, there are people on the autism spectrum who prepare for outcomes or prepare to try to have the best outcome of something. Case in point, when I knew that there was an issue after my clothes didn't dry, I had to prepare for how I was going to let my parents know. Because while I don't want to drag it out, I also don't want to, you know, just, get grief from it either. I did deal with a little bit of grief, and some of that was my doing because I um, admittedly have uh, a propensity for just wanting to throw everything in, and you can't realistically can't do that, unfortunately, because there is a such thing as loading too much, and I have to get better at learning what is too much, what is too little, and what's just right. So it begs a point that you may think that a direction you're giving me is simple, but it may not always be so simple because there's other variables involved in it. So that's what I talk about when I mention about direction following being a bit challenging sometimes for somebody on the autism spectrum. That is one of my challenges. So, um, but I want to rest assured that everything is good. Um, I mean, I didn't prematurely mention it on social media because I didn't want to potentially put out false information about our situation before telling my story about it. But I had a feeling that it wasn't my fault. The dryer's a little over 2 years old. I had a feeling it wasn't my fault, um, much like the washer situation that we had back in the fall. Now that was definitely my doing with loading too much, but, we live and we grow, and that's another point I wanna mention, that we often get stuck on what's happened in the past. I'm guilty of it, and perhaps I get some of that from family, but we while it's okay to mention history, we have to be careful how we mention it. We don't want it to the point that it chastises somebody or makes them feel horrible. Um, and in that case of Saturday, um, I did have a moment where I felt horrible. Um, I wouldn't say that it was a meltdown because I didn't raise my voice up loud, but I definitely was out of sorts. Um, well, I mean, I raised my voice just for myself, not at people. Um, but but I knew that there would be some kind of solution. So, but we're all good now. Now, as far as events this past week, so yes, I did attend a number of different things. I attended a networking event with the Young Professionals Alliance group that I've been a part of for over 5 years. And um, I've provided some insights as to um, helping the group grow. They were receptive to it. I asked if I could um, assist with that, and 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 I'm glad I could. I mean, I learned certain things that I won't discuss on here about where they're at, and um, and it was the right time for me to deliver some of my thoughts on it. I love the group. Then I attended on Wednesday night a Sheka Club meetup in my hometown of Edison. And I've said that because it was raining really hard that night, if it was in any of the other towns that they usually have their events in New Jersey, I probably would not have gone because that's how bad the weather was. And also because it's a little later too. But but it was overall enjoyable. It did take a little bit of time um, for some people to warm up to me, but I think that overall the reception was good. So I'd say it was a good time. And then Thursday morning into the afternoon, I attended a State of the Township address near me, and this was an event where I found out that another Trader Joe's is coming near us. Yes. So that'll mean that there will now be 4 locations of Trader Joe's in New Jersey. And in this day and age when uh, grocery prices are what they are, a store like Trader Joe's is very good, or Costco, or wherever you like to buy in bulk. So, and through this all, yes, I did, um, lose a lot of my voice. Um, it was the result of allergies that started not this past weekend, but the weekend before. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday last week, I barely had a voice. But I did have some tea throughout those days. That helped. I also had a few cough drops. Um, so that's why I didn't show up on video as much last week because of the the activities, which, by the way, all three of those activities that I attended were planned before I knew I wouldn't have much of a voice. And they were all paid for either by me or my workplace. And um and so um I I unless I was really not in um not well, I was going to go. It was just pretty much my voice, nothing else. So so that's what I did over the past week. I didn't do anything over the past weekend though. Um there was a Heart of One Wellness Expo in my town, but I chose to skip it because of not only the situation of the dryer, but because I needed to get myself better for my activities this week and upcoming activities for the rest of March. Because while I know that certain things can linger, if I can help speed up the healing as we enter spring, that'd be a good thing. So, again, I apologize that this was right on the spot, not scheduled, but uh, for anybody that is listening live or goes back and listens to however much of this they listen to, um, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I hope to be back next week on St. Patrick's Day with another show. Um, and an early happy Pi Day. That's this Friday, March 14th, 3.14. And until the next time I come on, I send you all love, light, blessings, and peace. Take care.